Okay. We have Rasposo playing the Emeric in the green versus M0h1nder playing Rhomb in the orange. They're playing Locus Amoenus. This is Test Your Metal. And we will be covering a couple more games from this event, by the way. We will be moving on to TYM March fairly soon after this because we have a new patch out. So this is going to be the last day of Legacy games. And then after this point, we'll be moving on to the new patch. And we'll be seeing, you know, how that's playing out. Not really much balance changes in the new patch, just a bunch of bug fixes for the most part. They did fix the stronghold bug, so that is going to be something I don't know if we're going to see it this game or not, but maybe we will. Anyway, looking at these openings, sword opening on one side from Rasposo, mage opening coming out from M0h1nder. And yeah, we see the first merfolk coming out. And Rasposo, oh, interesting. They're just going to capture this lump mill about the usual time. M0h1nder actually going to be very aggressive here. Going to use a low health commander near the game. And yeah, that's going to put in some good work. I'm very curious to see how the commander is going to play, like how Rhomb is going to play up against Emeric. This is the event where lots of Emeric was happening. And lots of Emeric bug was happening too, so. Ooh, good hit there with the sword. Catches their opponent on a river. That's a lot of damage. Sword's just going to have to walk back. Bait their opponent into, you know, dying. I almost think it's worth just running in and getting that hit. You know, you get the unit kill, you slow down the merfolk. You build groove on Emeric, which is, you know, what Emeric wants. And this should knock this village down. Oh, so close. What was that on? 1%. Oh, like 1 or 2% more on the commander? And that would have been a kill. Oof, that's a rough one. Emeric does get the flip. And what is M0h1nder going to do? They're just going to walk back. They're going to knock down that village. M0h1nder has tons of money. Like, both players have just been saving up. Okay. Knight's moving forwards, getting into position to set up knight crits. Yeah, Emeric does not want to move forward here. I think they'll die actually if they do. Actually just kind of stay there and heal. Okay, balloons are coming out. Spears are coming out with balloons. And we're seeing this more now. Especially compared to Wargroove 1, where generally like it was a very knight heavy meta. But now it's like there's so much more you can do with air units that I think people are like, oh, you know, getting a balloon makes sense. You can wall. Get those spears up. And spears, they do really well against things like, you know, air troopers as well. They wall against harpies quite effectively. Ooh, thief getting into position. Gonna go for that steal. Although every turn you have a thief where it hasn't gotten a steal compared to just knocking down the opponent's village, it actually really is worse than just knocking the village down early. Rasposo, they've got double thief up now actually. I wonder what they're going to do with that. I guess like try and go for steals up here. It does punish your opponent overextending, but in the case of M0h1nder, they are so far forward and very aggressive. And oh wow, that balloon positioning, so much pike balloon here. And this knight is completely safe. It would take a huge investment actually to be able to get to it. I mean, the main thing that could hit it right now is like a mage crit, which is cost effective if you get the first hit. But we might see that come out. He's getting into position. Alright, balloon goes down. That's, you know, that's a decent gold trade, but unit trade wise it's not the best. Okay, balloon just gets Emeric into the forest. And Emeric's a little while away from getting groove yet. Rhomb close to tier 1. And it's really tier 2 that's scary for Rhomb, but... Ooh, yeah. Mage on the roads, those will go down. Your crits are pretty good. Got a rifle coming out here from M0h1nder as well. Setting up for the later game. Rifles are extremely strong, but getting them too early, it's just like almost a way to throw. Ooh, I like this. Injured swords, that becomes a very cheap frog option. And frogs, you can make a great use out of them. Even if they're not a frontline unit, they're really good at reinforcing, they're really good at pulling rifles around. Or any indirect actually. Trebs, Ballista. All do very well off of rifles. Ooh. And here we go. Tier 2 crystal gonna go down. That's a lot of indirect damage. Ooh, that hex. I mean, it's pretty good actually. Oh, especially because, yeah, you've got this Sky Rider now that has +3 defense. It's gonna be incredibly difficult to go down to enemy Sky Rider, enemy mage. I actually don't know if a mage one-shots it at that point. Okay, well, one-shots a harpy still, for sure. I guess the main thing here would be like archer going in. Okay, dog goes down. Spear is going to be able to finish off that. Okay, big hex comes in. And ooh, tier 1. Oh, 174 though. That's a lot of wasted groove. Okay, but we're going to be able to just, you know, deal with this knight. Takes barely any counter attack damage. And that is the real strength of Rhomb groove right there. Being able to walk up into your opponent's entire army and just like, yeah, you can't kill me. It is incredibly difficult to kill a Rhomb that has groove. So what we're going to see now instead is... Oh, we'll let the spear go for the knight, but decides against it. Might in fact just decide to use Emeric here for that instead. Lots of good counter attack damage coming in. Ooh, nice thief steal. There's nothing else that's going to force a reaction from nearby army to deal with that thief when, you know, it really doesn't want to. It wants to hit other stuff instead. Is that knight going to go down? I don't think so. I think it's actually fine. So it can just retreat. Obviously not the ideal, but... Right, Rhomb's going to transform back into his usual form. Ooh. Good rifle crit there. Follow up with the mage. Nicely done. Dragon finds a free kill. And, you know, this is what dragons love. Just like any opportunity to just wander around picking off units where they can. You know, it's an injured sword, but still, like, one sword on the sidelines can actually be really effective. Ooh. Good damage there from knights. Oh, gonna sack their own knight to get that kill. I don't know how I feel about that. Definitely a bit of a weird one. Loses 2 knights to really badly damage their opponent's knight. And this can just retreat. That's 2 unit cost. Not 2... Yeah, it's like 2 units gone now, so... Definitely not ideal. Okay, and Emeric is just going to be able to stay here and fight. Doesn't even need the rage bonus, actually. Just going to be able to, you know, stand their ground. And Crystal's really frustrating to deal with because, like, frogs can technically drag them around now. So even if Emeric didn't get another groove, like, you have to deal with this crystal at some point. And yeah, fighting under Emeric's crystal is just not like futile or anything, but it's very frustrating. Oh, nice pull. I'm gonna see the knight get the kill because of that. Yeah, what can M0h1nder do here? Just has to pull back, really. Yep, good shot there, but sword is effectively in a forest now, so the rifle won't get that kill. And double thief return as well. It's going to take a little while for them to get back, just because of the way the terrain's laid out, but they'll get back there eventually. And this is actually looking, I almost want to say even. I think Rasposo has a bit of an edge here, but M0h1nder can still pull this back. Especially, you got a golem, it's very frustrating to deal with. Technically speaking, like Rhomb is better at dealing with golems than Emeric, but Emeric's really close to tier 2 again. And Rhomb is not close to tier 1 right now. It's gonna be quite a while still. Oh, that's actually a bridge? Okay. Never mind, those thieves are gonna return real quick then. Alright, we're getting a whole bunch of units healed up. Golem's just gonna walk in. Oh, finds a spear on the road. And that'll do that. Okay, second crystal comes up. And this is looking very dire for M0h1nder. I mean, the golem has to go down, but I don't know if the tools are there to do that. Dragon is actually available, so... Oh, but that's like mountain tile defense right there. That's very frustrating, and yeah, getting a night crate obviously very good. Pulls into the river. Oh, nicely done. Oh, but that has plains defense right now. Okay. Has to sack a unit to do that. Has to burn 2 mage heals just to get Rhomb to kill this. Is Rhomb actually going to kill this? Yeah, he does. Okay. He's got that going for him at least. Okay. Finishes up a couple more units. Oh, but that dragon's really vulnerable to getting killed now. Yeah, mage will be able to crit from the tile below, so... Had to burn a lot just to kill one golem. I guess is what golems are there for. Are we going to see a lethal attempt here? We do have a bunch of units to the sides. Sword crit goes through. Yeah, dog. Even though it's got mountain defense, like, Rhomb will still deal with that. 80% witch hex. Yep. Big follow up right there. Harpy crit. Oh, right, yeah, you've got 3 tiles open. And yeah, mage plus Emeric will do the trick. So well played there. Rasposo's gonna take it. We're gonna let these animations play out. And Rhomb just being a little bit too far forward without groove active. Gonna fall. But yeah, I do think that M0h1nder pushed a little bit too hard into this crystal when it came up. Felt forced as well, like tier 2 Wargroove could have been up. And that would have done, you know, a lot of work. But yeah, sadly, wasn't able to pull it out when they needed to. And Rasposo playing Emeric, and very standard Emeric as well. Like, we're not seeing anything kind of cheesy here. No range unit exploits or anything like that. It was just a very solid Emeric play. Puts down crystal, uses army well underneath it. Does some really nice work with thieves actually. We don't really get to see that too often. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.